presentation part.
We can't skip the presentation part, it's mandatory. Sounds interesting, but we have to do that.
Sorry?
Sounds interesting to skip the part, but we need
It's
to
okay,
do
we'll
that.
keep a secret.
Yeah, sure. Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to the Soapbox for Academic Affairs Secretary. Pardon me for my voice. We have our candidate with us, Mr. Lakshya Singh. We'll be starting the Soapbox now. We'll start the Soapbox with presentation round, where candidate will be explaining his presentation for 8 minutes. After that, we'll move to EC questioning and the questions from spearheads, and then we'll move to SECC questions, and we can take GSB questions if there are any. So I request the candidate to proceed with the presentation. You have 8 minutes to present.
I'm audible, right? Okay. So, Namaste Janta. It's, I feel great to be here again. So, like you must all know my name. I'm Lakshya Singh. I'm a fourth year undergraduate from the Department of Metallurgical Materials Engineering, and I've converted into an IEEE in Quantitative Finance, and I am again contesting for the post of Academic Affairs Secretary. So, my vision is threefold. So, firstly, my vision is to timely address and emphasize the academic issues which are being faced by the general student body. Coming to my other visions, obviously, maximizing the placement and internship numbers is a very core task of an academic affairs secretary. Also, encouraging resilient structures and conversational channels between the faculty administration is a very important aspect also. So now I'll quickly talk about my manifesto. My manifesto is divided into 4 different sections: academics, placements and internships, career development cell, and some club initiatives also. So talking about my points, so firstly I'll talk about my academics points. So I am this time for my first manifesto point, I'm proposing an library upgradation, which is the acquisition of material for various competitive examinations like GATE, CFA, FRM, GMAT, etc. Other than that, I'm also planning to have a UG study guide, which is an institute level compilation of feedback and preparation material for various courses. Coming to other points, for the first time I'm planning to propose a scholarship blue book, which is a blue book for facilitating students in obtaining scholarships for their career development. Moving on, this year I'm planning to propose a joint tech MBA with IEEE in tech MBA in collaboration with certain foreign universities. Other than that, I'm planning for an NPTEL credit expansion to the MTech students also. Now coming for some of my initiatives for the career development cell. So firstly, I'm planning a preparation calendar for students to prepare in a structured fashion. Other than that, I'm also planning to rejuvenate the core preparation via using the CDC as well as the CDC research wing. Other than that, I'm also planning to restart one thing which used to happen pre-COVID, was an unconventional lecture series for students to see what other options do they have in like their life. Other than that, I will also be channelizing the CDC and the various clubs to focus their activities on student preparation, because I feel that that is one area where we lack a lot. Other than that, coming to the placement and internship points, firstly, as you all know, transparency and accountability is very important in the sphere. So that is why I'm proposing this point of transparent placement test. Other than that, this year the Academic Affairs Secretary has started an thing called a spy space in the placement portal as well as internship portal. So I'll be working on that, and I will be renovating the platform to facilitate the student inquiries. Other than that, I will also be focusing on team restructuring to reach higher quality outreach avenues. Other than that, I am also planning to keep a research park day for like the students sitting for internships, and also I'm planning to bolster ties with various IT parks. Now I'll talk about my final basket, which is the club initiatives. So like this year we had formalized the No Code Club. Now it is essential that we give it a portfolio which it can work on throughout the year. So yeah. And next point is enhancing research exposure. So this year I'll be leveraging the UG UIR team to get more research internships for the students, which will increase our offer count for internships, as well as provide students with opportunities for their career development. Finally, I will also be reviving the Department Academic Mentorship Program, which was a program which was started by the Academic Affairs Secretary before the current Academic Affairs Secretary. Finally, I'll be also leveraging our alumni network in order to help the students prepare for placements. Now, I'll talk about my credentials. So you can see my credentials. I have been the UG IEEE core for the placement and internship cell. Also this year, I am the chief editor for the finance club, and also I am a coordinator for the Academic Affairs Secretary's Executive Committee. And I'm sure you must have seen my other credentials last year. Thank you.
Now we can take questions from EC. You have got 2 minutes to answer the main question and 45 minutes for the follow-up. 45 seconds.
Let's make it quick questions, quick answers. Let's speed it up. How many committees are you part of? How many committees are you part of as AS? Name the committees very quickly.
Yeah, so as an Academic Affairs Secretary, I'll be part of the Board of Academic Courses, Board of Students, then the Library Advisory Committee, Timetable Committee, Prizes and Awards Committee, and Board of Placements, and the Senate as well. And other than that, the Academic Welfare Committee, which was created this year.
No, you're not part of Academic Wellness Committee. You missed out on Disciplinary and Welfare Committee. DWC.
IDC.
Okay, the question I asked is because first point is library upgradation. The bad name withstanding, you're part of LAC, Library Advisory Committee. What is the annual budget of library for IIT Madras? Just rough count, I don't want exact number and all. What is a rough number of, what is our budget?
I am not sure about that number, but I feel it's around it's somewhere in the crores only, some 1 to 2 crores, I guess.
No, it's more like 25.
Okay, fine.
How does acquisition of new material work? Let's say you're saying you want to bring in new materials for competitive exams. How do you do that?
So, you want to know my plan of action?
Yeah. Or not just this point. Let's say you want a new book on metallurgical and material science. How do you bring it to the library as a member of LAC? So where is the money coming from? How do you propose it? Where is it getting it?
So if you want to propose new set of books, firstly, as I said that the secretary is part of the library advisory committee. So whenever that committee convenes, you can put up the points there that what sort of different books the general student body requires, and from there then like if it is approved in the LAC, then it will be taken forward, and then the librarian will acquire those books.
How is the budget of LAC structured? Like, is there sections for particular kinds of resources? Is there sections for particular kind of books? If there are, how do you go about getting that money? LAC is a meeting. You can come and pass the policy that let's get preparatory materials. Then how will you actually buy it?
So like LAC has different budgets. So obviously for subscriptions, there is a budget, subscriptions. And then for different journals, which the IIT Madras has subscribed, we have budget for that. And other than that, for general maintenance of the books also, like money is spent. Other than that, yeah, like.
The library budget is actually divided based on departments and some general sections, and the department professors have to put in. Of course, if general subsections have, you can go and propose. Now, what is book bank?
Book bank is an area like, so supposedly if you want to issue a book, so you will go to the library, and there you can like inform the librarian that you want to, you will inform the librarian, the library staff, that you want to issue this book. So that is issued from the like book bank. Like there are.
What is the difference between generally borrowing any book from the library and taking the book from book bank? The librarian often sends mails also. This is the timing for book bank. You can come and collect at this point and all. You would have seen it on a mail. What is that? How is it any different than taking a normal book in the library?
For book bank, there will like for the there will be a special like category of books which don't have a like lot of circulation, or they don't have a lot of quantity in the library. Probably like that is there in the book bank. Like I'm not really that aware.
Okay. Preparation calendar for students to prepare in a structured fashion. Prepare for what?
Yeah, so this is basically for the students to prepare for their both internships and placements in a structured fashion.
Okay, let's say there is one student. Let's take Arun, right? He is in second year. Which year students are this targeted for?
This is mainly targeted for students in their second, third, and fourth semester. Like mainly third and fourth semester.
So second year. Okay, let's say he's a student from second year. Okay, let's forget Arun. Let's take Sriraj from Naval Arc Department. He's in second year. What should he prepare for? What kind of resources are you giving? How should he know what profile to prepare for? If he knows what profile to prepare for, how are you accounting for the fact that different people start from different startup minds? He might be already really good at case solving. He might not have the necessary requirement at all to actually prepare for case solving. He might be really bad at core, and if he really wants a good core job, he might have to spend a lot of time there, right? How are you accounting for where the starting points of each students are? And again, how do you, by telling in your second year that you have this calendar that you have to focus for, you're kind of forcing the student to follow a particular path to a particular profile. But if you actually look at our placements and internship, at the end of the day, a lot of students prepare for a lot of different profiles in varying degrees, and to some extent, even based on their luck, end up in different profiles. By saying even second year, right? Second is the time when you explore institute. You get into a lot of, even placement DPC, you only get into a second year. This is the time when you explore institute and try to figure out your academic curriculum, all of those interests. At that point, telling them, this is the calendar. Already, if you take some sectors like consult, it's already very toxic. People say you have to go take this PO, or you have to prepare for this, start case solving, now all of that stuff. Aren't you making it an unnecessarily competitive culture here by bringing in a calendar?
So like if you go through my feasibility report, actually that is not what I am proposing. I am not telling the students to go strictly follow this calendar. I am just giving them, like I'm giving them the experience of, if you want to go into this sector, or if you want to go for this profile, how should you start preparing? What are the different pathways which you might incur like during your preparation? In my feasibility report, you can see that I have added an example also. This year the case club had created the same for the consulting profile. So for this, I'll be like creating a similar calendar for various profiles which are coming. The student is not mandated to follow this. It is just a guideline for him. If he wants to go, then he can choose this path also.
Again, let's take the specific example, consulting, right? Case club, you mentioned in AFR. second year student wants to go into consulting. What is the calendar you are going to give? What are the timelines?
Yeah, so timeline will be starting, so first of all, it won't be a rigid timeline. We'll be telling him what are the different options which he has, I mean like in terms of resources, whatever resources which he can use, and what different strategies which he can use, and what what are
Give
the
me,
different...
concrete examples. Let's take one very specific case. Third semester, student wants to go into consulting. Tell me what resources, what timeline, how is... I'm not trying to test you whether you know about consulting. I'm trying to demonstrate that that is too rigid of a structure. But anyways, go on.
Yeah, like as you said, I don't have a lot of idea regarding the consulting profile. But
Okay,
again, like,
what profile are you comfortable with?
finance. Finance.
Okay, let's take finance, quantitative finance, second year. Go.
So if you want to prepare for a career in quantitative finance, supposedly. So first of all, like what is the first thing which you'll do? First thing is for the student to know what is finance, because like finance contains a lot of different fields. There is a non-technical field and there is a technical field. So there is a very different roadmap for a non-technical field and a technical field in finance. Okay. So first the student needs to know this, because moving on, supposedly if I want to go into the non-technical field of finance, so first he has to know the basics of stock market. Other than that, he has to know the basics of corporate finance. He has to first gather the basics. So my preparation calendar will tell him, okay, these basics first you need to know if you want to move further. So
How is that a calendar? That's a roadmap. Where is the time? Calendar means time. You should do this now. You should do that.
yeah.
No.
So I will be telling that this is the stipulated time frame which might take for the student to prepare for this section.
Sorry. Could you comment?
I was saying that we will give a time frame. It won't be rigid ki you have to do this in 1 week. It will be lenient.
Then give me in this particular example, walk me through it.
If I take the basics of stock market, it can take around 1 to 2 weeks to get yourself equipped with the necessary basic skills for stock market.
And
Yeah, so this is how
After that?
the calendar will be structured.
after that?
Yeah, after that you will be moving on to the basics of corporate finance. So
So you're essentially listing down what all you need to study and the number of weeks it will take for you to study.
Yeah,
That is what you're calling a calendar.
yes, I had taken feedback from the 22 batch students. They, 22 and 23 batch students also.
Okay?
Almost everyone told ki we know these profiles are coming, but we don't know how to prepare for them.
Yeah, that is a perfectly fair point that should know how to prepare for study. I'm saying how does it make sense to call it a calendar if what you're saying is these are the stuff you need to prepare for, this is what typically how long it takes. Can't you, especially given you have no code club under you, you have GPT, you have all these options, why can't you make it at least, even if you make it interactive, even if you allow the student the flexibility to tell where exactly they're starting from, at least then you can generate a calendar at least. In that scenario, at least you can call it a calendar. If you're just putting a document saying 20 things you need to learn and number of weeks it takes to learn this thing, how do you call it a calendar? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, okay, fine. If you're saying in that sense, then yeah. But my point behind the initiative was this only, which I was trying to communicate.
Lectures to promote and boost different career options.
Yes.
What kind of career options?
So there can be lot of alternative career options. So supposedly, if you want to go into journalism, for example, or if you want to go prepare for government examinations, or if you want to go into the field of fine arts, so these are the alternative career options.
You think the government job withstanding, which I don't consider very unconventional, there's a lot of even clubs, even under SGS, a lot of clubs carrying out these activities. Regarding the other so-called fine arts and journalism and all, do you think one lecture is gonna promote this in the student community? Are you realistically saying one student in IIT Madras is going to decide to go into journalism because of a lecture?
No, but you need to understand that through the lecture, at least the students will get to know that this is a viable, this is at least a career option for them. I am not forcing the students to go into any specific field. I am just giving them the platform that they can come and gather the knowledge of various like various career options. And
Right. Do you think an IIT student doesn't know that journalism is a career option?
like they will know, but again, like just knowing about it and like knowing like a little bit more after watching or after listening to a lecture is a totally different thing.
Team restructuring. Team restructuring.
Yes.
What is a restructured team?
So in terms of team restructuring, currently what I'm planning to do is that for the industrial public relations team, I'm planning to scrap the idea of DPCs from like for this year team. Uh, yeah, other than that, like I'll be working on strengthening the IEEE team also. Like this year, we did a lot of outreach, and I feel like there's a lot of more potential. Other than that, in terms of restructuring, like earlier what used to happen is that the department DPCs, like when they joined the team, uh, some of them had a lot of motivation because they used to directly work in collaboration with IPR, because they might have aspirations to continue as a IPR coordinator next year, because of which the efficiency of the department teams at least used to be there. But this year personally I have seen that like due to the presence of DPCs in IPR, the department DPCs, their enthusiasm among them was a little bit less than what I'd seen when I was a PC for the team.
Okay, to recap, you are removing IPR DPCs and you are strengthening IEEE. What is strengthening IEEE?
Strengthening IEEE as in like this year the outreach which we had handled was bit segregated and it was not coalesced, because like we were still figuring out and we were trying to expand our outreach. So like technically this year we have to solidify like what kind of outreach IEEE has to do.
Okay, how is that restructuring? What is the change in the structure?
It is restructuring in the sense that like the amount of outreach, outreach which the IPR team is doing. Okay, I feel that the IPR team should move into like other avenues of outreach.
No, that is just what sectors they focus on. No, I'm asking what is the change in the structure for IEEE team. For IPR team you mentioned you're scrapping DPCs. What about in IEEE?
IEEE team, there will not be any such like change in the structure, just that their the outreach and everything will be like structurized.
So your one manifesto point is essentially saying you'll remove IPR DPCs, and that is the structure we had last year. So that is exactly one point in your manifesto, that you'll remove IPR DPCs. Do you think that's a worthy point to be put in an AS manifesto? First. Second, which team do you think had better outreach, our team or the last year's team?
See, this year in terms of quantity of outreach, yes, like this year the team...
Quality was worse?
Quality I won't comment, but quantity yes.
Why can't you comment? You are a placement core, no? I'm asking
Yes.
about the outreach of the placement team. How can you not comment about the quality of outreach?
See, I can talk about my team, okay?
You can't talk about the experience of the other teams.
Question and answer, please.
No.
Let's not comment.
No, it's a question. As a placement core, don't you know how outreach was done for the other teams? How good, effective outreach was done for them? It's a question.
Yeah, like that is what I'm saying. The quantity of outreach was greater this year because we were going through a recession period, so it was necessary to have a like higher quantity of outreach.
Quality? Still question. Follow up. Quality?
Again, no comments.
Okay, interesting. I think I can attest for the fact that we had much better quality of outreach. Maybe because I was core, as IPR core also previously. But the point withstanding, you are saying, your point actually saying restructuring for accommodating wider and higher quality outreach avenues. Removing IPR DPCs and refocusing, a better word for your initiative than restructuring IEEE team. How is it allowing us to account for wider outreach. We've discussed this before, as I told you. If we compare our structure to some other IIT like IIT Bombay or something, we are vastly undermanned. We don't have enough human resources. We don't have enough capability to do it. How is reducing or eliminating IPR DPCs helping you solve any of these problems? We have big structural issues that need addressing if we are to be competent going forward. And I want to know how this is your point, that how this, do you think this will be enough? I'll make it a question. Do you think this will be enough going forward, that scrapping IPR DPCs? Do you think that will solve our problems?
No, obviously it won't be enough. Like further deliberation is required. But I felt that at this point of time, I am no one to like comment on like what will be the future team structure. Like right now, as of now, because I feel that there's a lot of deliberation required, because what the current
shouldn't you have deliberated? If I agree that there is a lot of discussion to be had, but don't you think you should have had it before you put it on a manifesto? If you hadn't put it on a manifesto, it's a fair point to say. We have a lot of stakeholders we have to discuss. But here you literally put it on a manifesto, gave a feasibility that this is going to be the restructuring, and now you're saying you can't comment on how viable it is.
No, but team restructuring will be happening.
You just don't know what team restructuring is going to happen.
See, that is what I'm talking about. Like currently, what all is feasible, like if you can see my
feasibility wise is not an issue.
Yeah,
you are the academic affairs secretary.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the advisors will also listen to you. Hypothetically, let's assume that even RIS will completely listen to you because you have more experience in the team. Then what restructuring will you do? What is the need of the hour for placements to be effective, for our students to get jobs? And what restructuring will you do? Is your answer just removing IPR DPCs?
See, if you're talking about like one idea which was being floated was to completely remove the departmental team structure and moving into a type of outreach in which is department agnostic. So that is something which I don't agree with.
No, what do you agree with? I'm not saying what you don't disagree with. What is your vision?
See, my vision is that
you have complete autonomy next year. Team, you can start from scratch. You can change anything. This is the structure of the team. You can say for now, and 90% chance you will be able to implement it if you really want it. What is that structure? What is that ideal placement team structure?
See, my structure is continuing with the departmental teams and the industrial public relations team and the IEEE team. Okay.
You're saying the current structure is ideal.
The current structure can be improved. Like there is a lot of scope of improvement. It's just like if IIT Bombay has a structure, it doesn't mean we have to copy this.
No, I'm not talking about IIT Bombay. I'm saying, so you're saying the current team structure is the most effective.
See, according
with marginal differences, maybe scrapping IPR DPCs, refocusing IEEE, right? Just to be aligned. How many companies can we realistically reach out to with this kind of team?
See, again, like this year, the amount of outreach which we had done, if you are able to pull up this amount of outreach, and like this year, like for the next team, we already have a lot of different outreach sheets. Which we have
differential. Yes. We have outreach sheets. We have legacy outreach sheet from 2010. We have. That is not something new you are going to have next year.
So, like that is what, like if we are able to use all of the resources effectively, I feel like this sort of team structure is
how many
ideal.
Companies? Question is how many companies?
How many companies are, like that is really dependent on the market factors, right?
No. How many companies can you reach out to? Not how many companies you can get on board. How many companies can you effectively outreach to?
Like I can give the example of my team. Okay.
No. Overall team.
See, overall team, I can't give you a concise number.
Okay, a rough number. I'm not nitpicking here. I'm just trying to demonstrate the need for restructuring of the team. I'm not trying to, kind of show your inexperience. I'm trying to say just a rough number. Okay, do you know how much companies we reached out to? The placement team this year, how many companies did we reach out to? Rough. Again, just a rough. I'm not trying to be nitpicky.
I feel like we must have reached out to more than 3,000 companies.
Approx 4,000 is what we reached out to. That also is widely overestimated because there's a lot of overlaps between what teams reach out. Amongst all the major IITs, we are the one team. We are the IIT that reaches out to the least number of companies with the team structure we have. That is why, as AS, I feel that there is a need for restructuring the team, which you discussed, and you put it on a manifesto that we'll restructure the team. But scraping IPR DPCs and refocusing IEEE team is for sure not gonna get you from 4,000 to even a place like 5,000, right? So again, going back to the question, you have full autonomy, build a new team. What is the structure?
See, as of now, like I'll be, like as I told, like I'll be continuing with the previous structure only. Other than that, for increasing the amount of outreach, okay. So first of all, there is a manpower issue, okay. Especially with like manpower, as in like how do I put this? So yeah, so basically, like if I talk about what will be like this year's like plan to increase the outreach, uh, it will be to increase the manpower of the team and then effectively using that manpower to increase the outreach. So like this year we have achieved a number. So now we have to set a target for a new number, and I feel like we'll be able to do it this year.
Setting a target and all is something anyone can say. That's not how it. You have a responsibility to the GSB to ensure that there should be more outreach. And you can say that you will do it without restructuring also. That is also fine. I'm not saying restructuring is the only way. But your answer can't be that I'll set a target. That doesn't make any. You can say it for the sake of saying it. But both of us know setting a target is not going to help you get to that number. Right. You need practical measures to do it. Again, I'll move on to the next question because this is not going anywhere. But you owe it to the GSB to bring structural changes so that we have more outreach, because otherwise our students will not have enough placements going forward.
Can we move to spearheads and then come back to you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming to your transparent placement test point. What I understand from your feasibility report is you want to implement a biometric system, right? Other than that, are you doing anything new here?
So I'll briefly talk about what is my plan of action. So like this year I was the one who was in charge of conducting the placement like offline placement tests and ensuring that attendance is taken properly. This year we had hired volunteers also, whose job was to invigilate the test and like take attendance and everything. So like in the coming year, so in the coming year we'll so now there are two aspects. So firstly, if you are able to pull off the system, like the biometric system in which the students are able to directly scan their face and get their attendance, and after that like after the test is over, we will get the attendance from the administration, and then we can directly showcase it to the students. Okay, these students attended a test offline. If you have any discrepancies, you can directly reach out to us. So they will reach out to if there are some discrepancy, they will reach out to us. Other than that, the students who didn't attend the test, we will also be uploading this this attendance on the portal also for the students to see. So that will make the process more transparent. Other than that, the students who were not present in the test, we will be removing them from the interview shortlist. This was one thing where we faced a lot of issues this year, because there were a lot of issues with students saying that they were present in the test, but we could not verify the same. Also, like we were not able to actually go through the whole process of removing them. Also, attendance on portal was something which we were not able to pull off. So these all things I am planning to tackle and introduce set this system in motion, basically facilitate this process so that it happens seamlessly this year.
Okay, so a few things. So firstly, you said it happened properly this year. So
No, it didn't happen properly.
It didn't happen properly. Okay. You said that we hired volunteers for the first time this year?
No, volunteers as in, I mean, the scale with which we had hired the volunteers. Yeah, like we had hired volunteers during the previous secretary's tenure also.
Okay. Sure.
I just have a follow-up to that question. There is a reason why administration, even DNAC, hasn't so far pushed for biometric for attendance during classes also. The thing is, there's a 10-minute gap only between classes. Students have to come. There's literally only one biometric or maybe two biometric scanners per room. It will take an eternity for everyone to get in the class. Same thing will happen with placement tests. Especially during the month of November, we have back-to-back tests. And you can't even ask the students to stay in that room. You have to ask them to leave and come back, because otherwise students can scam. So, given that we still conduct placement tests in the classrooms, how is it feasible to use biometric scanners?
Again, so if you read my feasibility report, I have given two two different pathways.
Okay, so are you saying the biometric pathway is impossible, or are you not going to do it?
No, no, like I'll be planning to do it, but when I was talking in the administration, I got to know that there are some students whose biometric hasn't been registered.
Okay, there is an additional infeasibility, but address the infeasibility that I mentioned. That time doesn't allow you to do it. Then how will you do it?
So we will be taking the attendance there also. Like this year, how we had taken.
That is during the test.
The volunteers will be there.
So, but you're gonna buy new biometric scanners to pass around.
No, no. Like
Then?
this year, the way we are taking attendance, we'll be taking it.
We
That
didn't
way
use
also.
biometric. I'm saying about biometric scanner. Biometric is at the outside of the classroom. When you come in, you have to same system as MES, right? The problem with that is the time. There will be a queue. People won't get into the venue in time. How will you solve for that?
So, if such sort of situation is going to happen, then obviously at that point of time, you will have to let the students in, and
No, I'm not saying that's a one-off scenario. That is going to be there throughout November, sometimes even in October.
see, we will have to inform the students early, and we will have to inform them
No.
that this is.
It's not about information thing. Let's say there's a test that ends at 10. You handle test slotting as well. You know this. There'll be a test that ends at 10. There'll be a test that starts at 10. There might be a 10-minute gap the test platform gives that allows students to continue. Usually what we do is we let the students sit in the same room and continue the test. But you can't do it because you are using biometric. You have to let them leave and come back because otherwise students get the chance to scam you. So if you are making sure the system is scam free, you have to make them go out, come back in again with biometric. At that point, even if you don't consider that, even if you don't consider student leaving and coming, a new test. They finished classes and came at 6 p.m. for a test. They won't get into the venue in time because of the biometric queue. And they won't be able to attend the test. What will you do then? And I'm not saying that's one instance where you can be like, oh, exception, you can go in. This will be a daily occurrence every day.
No, like even if that sort of cases happen, I believe that will have to be like handled on a case-to-case basis. We will have volunteers there. If there is
How will volunteers help? The biometric system is fit onto the wall. How will volunteers help?
I am saying that, okay, we will get the attendance from the biometric. The volunteers will also separately take their attendance. They will note their names.
How will you get attendance? If I'm waiting to put attendance on biometric scales, I can't enter the room. Biometric is outside the room, da.
See, you're not getting my point.
Okay. What's the point?
If that sort of case is arising,
I'm saying that case. Do you agree with me that case will for sure arise in November?
Yes.
Where
yes.
there are tests back to back.
Yes.
There will be places where students will have to get in the test venue very quickly. And if you have a biometric scanner outside the venue, you don't have enough time for students to enter the venue. How do we? We are clear until here. How do we solve?
We will let the students inside. After that, the volunteers will go, check their ID cards, note the attendance, and then we'll be uploading the attendance.
Okay, so the same system we use this year. So biometric is infeasible is what you're saying. Or do you have a plan for that? This is your feasibility in the feasibility report that you will use biometric. And now you're saying it's infeasible. You won't even use that.
See, the thing is that we will be informing the students early. We will be informing them.
Even if they're at the venue, one test ends at 6 p.m. You give them information 1 month early.
I guess there is enough discussion on this topic. We can move to the next question.
Okay, coming to enhancing PySpace, right? So you said you'd renovate the platform to facilitate student inquiries. In what way do you think it doesn't do that right now?
Because there is nothing on the PySpace right now.
No, but we facilitate student inquiries. There are no inquiries.
So that is what, right? You can't just create a thing and then just leave it be. The students, you need to tell the students.
So we should plant inquiries in students and ask them to post.
No. Again, you can have a set of FAQs, right? I will tell you, there are some 50 questions which a student will have during their whole internship and placement process. At least have that on PySpace. No? Even that is not there as of now.
One follow-up. Sorry? One follow-up question you can ask.
Why is it not on PySpace now then?
Because nothing was it wasn't used. Because it wasn't communicated properly. That is what I feel.
Oh, okay. Okay, now coming to the team restructuring point, you mentioned you would like to restructure for higher quality outreach avenues. Could you list out some of the avenues you plan?
Yes. So, like, there are some avenues. Like this year, we have tried a lot of different avenues. Some areas where I feel, again, so the number of outreach, like that is one. So this year we have, like, we got the contact sheet, like given by the PG placement head. So, like, which contained a list of 8,000 companies. So, like, that is one, like that is a very like important
Those are the
treasure.
avenues we had this year. Could you list out what you mean by higher quality avenues that you'd like to reach out to this under your tenure?
Higher quality avenues will be firstly like with IITM Research Park. So that is also one of our manifesto
Yeah, we've
points
been doing
also.
that for 2 years now, so
Again, like when I was taking fund days, I was informed that like at some point of time, our relationship with IITM Research Park was like not continuing at a good pace. It is essential that we formalize contact at the start.
We had that issue during this tenure for a week, then we formalized and solved it. You can check with the IPR team who was handling it as well. Going forward, what are you going to do different?
Yeah, so for IITM Research Park, I'm planning to have a IITM Research Park day. Other than that, in Chennai, like as we had tried this year also, like we tried reaching out to various IT parks. So that is also one area which I'd like to retry and try to establish contact with those IT parks.
At least one new avenue that you'll use. That
Other
we
than
haven't
that-
done them. One, because your manifesto is saying for higher quality avenues, at least one higher quality avenue.
See, one avenue is that the INDI secretary, like when I was talking with the INDI secretary, I got to know that the ACR office conducts a lot of events. Okay, that is one area. So, like this year, they are planning to have an industry day. So, through the industry day, we can like reach out to a lot of companies which give the CSR funds to IIT Madras. So, that can be one very important avenue where we can tap the big companies.
Sorry again for interrupting so much. Just a clarification. I don't know if you know, but we already had ACR reach out to all the companies that give us CSR funding this year. Still not a new avenue.
okay, so this is a question from a team point of view, right? So one of the biggest challenges we face that is in phase 2, the workforce is less efficient, whatever reasons, sarang, fests, elections maybe, whatever. So how do you plan to overcome this?
So, like in terms of phase 2, one major drawback is that like after like the phase 1 of placement happens and everyone goes to their home, everyone feels like, yeah, okay, so the phase 1 is over now, not a lot of work has to be done. So like this is a sort of notion which has been created, and that is one thing because of which we are not able to restart the team for phase 2 outreach, and it takes a lot of time. So I feel that it is essential that the course, like as soon as Sarang gets over and the students are on campus, they meet with their teams, they formalize a plan of outreach. I believe like this year the IPR team had done the same also. Like they started the work for phase 2 very early, but I feel like that needs to be done across all of the department teams in UG, MTech and MS PhD also in like after talking with the RAS. So once the core is able to restart the team and give them some work, reach out again to the companies who we were not able to reach out to in phase 1, or they said no due to some reason, or they were not able to come due to some logistical issues, reach out to them again. And also again reach out to the firms with which we were not able to establish any sort of contact. So I feel, and that needs to be done in a in a fast-paced manner. Like as soon as the students are on campus and Sarang Shastra is over, the core, like it's the responsibility of the course to restart their team.
Right, and so what happens if the cores are not doing that?
So if that sort of issue is happening, obviously like there will be some teams who who will be actively doing outreach. So at that point of time, these other department or IEEE or IPR PCs and DPCs can be taken in for the outreach which the certain core is doing, which actually is being done this year also.
Hi Lakshya. So coming to your IITM Research Park Day point again, a couple of things that I want to clarify first and then ask you your question is, first of all, you've spoken about how the placement and internship cell established formal communication with the Research Park this year. It's not this year, it's been happening for a while. Even the Research Park Day was an idea that was put forth before, but there's a reason it couldn't be a day because a lot of these Research Park firms couldn't come within that small period of time, and therefore it started extending over like 1 or 2 weeks, and this is something that we're already doing, right? Again, coming to the IT parks as well, that's something that we're already doing. So this sort of become a recurring theme in your manifesto where you've just spoken about things that are already happening and you're just saying that you're going to retry it with vague terms such as better, higher quality, etc., right? So coming to this point, when you've spoken about how this approach ensured efficient communication and seamless coordination between the team and the companies already, what exactly are you doing to improve, or what exactly are you changing over here other than just saying that you'll try it again?
Like in the last part, can you repeat again?
See, in your feasibility report, you said that the way that we conducted it right now ensured an efficient communication and seamless coordination between the teams and companies. Right, so you said that it's good right now. So what are you doing, what are you adding to the current situation other than just the fact that you're saying that you'll retry the same thing over and again, hoping that the market is better, essentially?
You're talking about IITM Research Park, right?
Yeah.
So, see, the main issue with IITM Research Park is currently the amount of companies which we are able to onboard and the amount of companies which are there in IITM Research Park. I feel that we can convert a larger number of firms, and yeah, so that is the basic funda of my point. If you are having companies in IITM Research Park, the placement and internship cell should be able to at least get the majority of the companies in IITM Research Park interns from our campus.
Okay, so you're essentially saying that what you're going to improve is, or what is lacking is that you feel that we should get more internships, but we're not. So, but I'm asking you to get to where you think you feel we should get to. What are you going to do other than just try again? Because I don't see any strong points or strong ideas as to what you're going to do to change it. Other than, again, the fact that you're going to retry the same thing.
See, first of all, start the process early. Okay. This year, there was a certain delay in establishing formal contact with them. So this year we'll be in touch with them since the beginning, and we'll be planning from before the summer begins. We'll be planning for this IITM Research Park Day to be held in the month of around supposedly October. And then we will be planning for that. We will be planning the number of companies which will be coming, everything. It will be held as a sort of a formal day in which IITM Research Park companies, they will be companies coming on that day, and we will be keeping the process for them.
All right, just a clarification.
Okay.
Just a clarification. The reason that we don't reach out to Research Park companies in October itself is because we have this system of slotting, right? We feel like they're not good enough to come at the initial part of outreach, and therefore we sort of reach out to them during phase 2. So I just want to clarify that. And if you say that you're just going to reach out in October and you think that you're going to get higher numbers, that's not entirely true.
Just a context to that clarification. If you're saying you'll still reach out in October and ask them to come later, they don't agree for that. Once you reach out to October, they'll start paining you like, when are we coming, when are we coming?
Next question, please.
Hello? Yeah. So, hi Lakshya. I think I'll take the first question as the UG study guide point you mentioned. I'm pretty sure you would have gone through Mehmet's manifesto last year. So, there was a point mentioned about academic gate, A gate, which is the one-stop portal for every academic related resource. So, don't you think the UG study point guide is just a mere subsection of the A gate point. Like, what new are you really bringing into play here?
First of all, like, uh, this year only a document was created. I was a member of the Academic Affairs Secretary Executive Committee. This year only a document was created which enlisted all of the different academic queries a student will have like during their time in the institute. Again, UG study guide, if you go through my feasibility report, you like I have clearly listed down like what is this plan of action, and also I'll be using the no code club. So we'll be, with the help of no code club, we'll be creating a no code tool through which the students will, like, they will be creating a platform through which students can better access the resources like for various courses.
And like, what about the already existing A gate platform where the plan was to put all these resources? Like, will you just leave it as it is, or like, will you continue with your idea of like involving no code club and continuing it?
Again, I feel that the No Code Club is very much interested in this initiative. I had already talked to the No Code Club head. He is very much into doing this, so that like I'll be continuing with this.
Okay. Now, like from the time I have joined the team, like I have already seen this that there's some amount of mistrust between the like UG and the PG teams.
Mistrust.
Yeah, mistrust.
Okay.
So, like, how do you plan on ensuring that this doesn't happen, or like is in a way restricted during your tenure?
See, mistrust arises for various reasons. So I list down a few reasons. So first reason is that UG PG feel that they are not like opening companies for their other counterpart in like that sense in which they expect. That is the first area where mistrust arises. Second area is outreach clash. So like this year it had happened. So MTech Civil wanted to handle EY and IPR used to handle EY. So that is one area where clashes happen. So this year we had instated a system in which if you have to like open a company for certain department, you have to keep that department core in a CC. So that is what which we had used this year. Other than that, I feel like the manifesto point of the current secretary regarding outreach and relations management (ORM). Through that, I feel the issue of outreach overlap will be minimized. I won't say it will be like eradicated, but it will be minimized. So I feel that will also help decrease the mistrust which exists between UG and PG.
So like very well, like you enlisted the things which we did this year, but like my point was like, what are you going to do in your tenure? Because even after doing all the things you mentioned, yeah, this is one follow-up only.
I will be taking one more question after this, then we'll move towards SEPC question.
Okay, fine. Like, let me at least ask the follow-up and next question. Yeah, basically whatever you said, we did it this year. But even after that, there was like some amount of mistrust between the UG MTech course. There have been times where there have been quarrels in the placement team group itself. So, like, what do you think we lacked this year, which you should be ensuring doesn't happen in your tenure?
Okay, so it's very sad that you don't know, like we were not able to actually implement ORM this year. That is one thing which has to be implemented this year, which I'll be doing on as soon as I start my tenure as an academic affairs secretary. First of all, getting ORM is the main priority. Other than that, keeping in constant touch with the counterpart like teams for PG, MS and like MS PhD and the MTech teams. Also, the department course for both BTech, UG, MTech and MS PhD have to stay in constant touch with. So it is essential that I stay in touch, and as soon as an issue is arising, try to solve it at that point of time. Don't let it go into the placement team group. So that will, I feel that will decrease the mistrust among UG and PG.
Okay, fair. Coming to the next question.
Any other spearhead who has question?
Let me complete my question. Right? Like,
Any other person?
Let him finish and then we have other questions.
Then I'll allow just one more spearhead to ask question because we are running out of time.
See,
we waited 1 hour for this. Like,
I mean the previous Soapbox went on for like 2 hours, right?
Still we have time constraints. I'll allow 3 more questions and then we can wind up. Okay.
okay. So,
Yeah.
So yeah,
I request you to not comment and just ask a question so that we can just stick to the question.
yeah, sure. So you last year's placements during the first week of December. On day 4, we faced the cyclone this year. Everyone is aware. Student faced a lot. Even the team faced a lot to take care of it. In a scenario where we were to face a cyclone in this year's placement, or any other natural calamity for that matter, on day 1 rather than day 4, how do you plan as a institute secretary to ensure that placements happen smoothly?
So, see, first of all, like this year, I feel one issue because of which we were not able to, like, the force with which the cyclone hit us was that, uh, like, like there was a mistake from our side that we ignored the warnings which were coming from. I like personally, some companies had reached out to me also. They had told that there is a cyclone coming. Should we come or not? At that point of time, like there was some sort of miscommunication. So that needs to be solved. Other than that, like supposedly, like if this sort of issue occurs on day 1, again, we will obviously be facing issues because companies will be going to other IITs even if they don't come here. But again, we will have to inform the companies much back, and tell them ki we are facing this sort of issues because natural calamity is something which is not in our hands. So we will have to stay in constant touch with the companies, and we will have to do the slotting in that way in which we accommodate the days which we are losing because of the cyclone or any other calamity.
So, I mean, if you're losing out on those days, like you also know as a placement core that the companies will directly go to other IITs. They'll much rather prefer taking students from those IITs. And this is day 1 we are talking about, where we get most of our offers, especially most of the students who have been preparing from long get placed from day 1, day 2. Are you really okay with losing on such offers and not planning something different to ensure that even this is taken care of than just informing companies that a natural calamity probably will be coming?
See, obviously there will have to be a backup plan. For the companies, obviously we already in the COVID era, we have gone through online interviews. So at that point of time, we can, instead a system of having online interviews, we can tell the companies who are coming, tell them that we are having a cyclone alert. Please shift your interviews to online, and then we will have to conduct all of the interviews online. And other than that, again, staying in constant touch and properly planning the logistics in that sense is essential for conducting the placement seamlessly.
Even this year we asked the companies for going online, but then clarification. Even this year we asked the companies to go online, but then the issue was some companies much rather prefer to come offline. Even after informing them that there is a cyclone coming, some firms even came through the cyclone and had their interviews done offline. And the firms which agreed for online, there were students who faced issues because of not having network in their hostels. This is very likely a scenario, may not be in your tenure, but a future tenure, which you should be prepared for if you are standing for academic affairs secretary.
All right. Hello. Okay. I hope you can hear me. Now, regarding alumni mentoring, so you mentioned a point regarding alumni mentoring where students who have gotten recently placed or previously placed in a specific company or sector would come and help in mentoring the current year students for placements and internships. Now, this is, in my opinion, the exact same thing as Mentor Map, which was the first point in the previous year's manifesto and one of the first things that we executed during the internship season. How is your point going to be any different, and how do you justify this?
See, this alumni mentoring point is basically for the students who will be sitting for their placements, and we will be directly engaging with the alumni in this. I already talked with the international and alumni relations secretary, and he had told that he had pitched to the current academic affairs secretary, but things could not move forward due to some reasons. So that is the essence of my point. We are involving the alumni to help the students who are sitting for their placements, not internships.
Okay, I assuming you know about the global engagement students, just one last question, sorry. I'm assuming you know already know about the global engagement students. Now, there was also a proposal when the global engagement students, one of the representatives came forward this year, there was also a proposal for the following year. There will be students who will be doing a joint master's program where they will be doing half their program in our institute and half the program in a foreign institute. Now, as a secretary, do you think they should be allowed to sit for placements and internships? And if yes, how will you formulate this and how will you go forward with this?
Yes, so this sort of thing was actually like with the current placement and internship head, Mr. Siddesh. He had he reached out to me. He had explained the whole program of joint MSc in data science, and like this year our plan was that we'll let them we'll get their resumes, and whatever companies are coming for winter internships, when their processes are happening, we'll send these resumes also to the company and tell them if they're if they're interested in these students, you can shortlist them, and then we can take the process in this similar manner which happens for all of the students. So we'll let them sit for winter internships.
I'm just giving a clarification that winter intern fair, that happened because they have a winter internship in their curriculum and not a summer internship. So we just told, okay, you have winter internship, we'll just facilitate that. What his point was talking about is now they'll be sitting in for placements where you can't, just tell them we'll sit for winter. You'll have to formulate a plan how to accommodate them for placements. This happened because this was the first batch. So there was no one for placements. So we just told, oh, summer internship is not there in the curriculum, winter is there, we'll help there. But next year it's going to be a problem and you'll have to deal with it.
Fine.
Hello, Laksha. My question is about the team restructuring part and establishment of a new tech and IT outreach committee. The feasibility report exactly says committees, permanent committees for tech and IT. Do you mean one for tech, one for IT, or multiple committees only for tech and IT? So this is one part of the question. Second part is why only tech and IT, and who will be the part of this team? Who will be heading this team?
Single committee, single permanent committee for tech and IT. There will be placement course who will be heading this, and it will consist of department DPCs and PCs.
Who will be heading it? That was a part of the first
The course,
question.
the course,
Which course?
that will be decided from the team only, the placement and internship course.
All right, my follow-up will be, we've already tried some sub-committees like that this time, and I have been looking after those teams that we have tried, and my experience has been that even despite taking them from the departmental teams itself, there has not been enough motivation, or they have not been given enough resources, or there will not be enough resources considering they don't have enough time and they won't be even enough resources, and there's nothing new that we are doing other than just telling them to reach out and giving them lists of companies. So what exactly do you think you should be doing to make these teams work, and why only tech and outreach? That was part of my first question. Only tech and IT, why?
Yeah, so tech and IT because the majority of students here in the campus are preparing for these profiles, and these profiles actually make a quite a big chunk of the company, the profiles which you are having. So that is why answering your question. Other than that, if you're talking about the enthusiasm and among the outreach committee members, yeah. So I know I know that is an issue. Other than that, as I had said, so scrapping the idea of having IPR DPCs will obviously increase the motivation amongst the department DPCs, because then they will have if they have further aspirations of continuing in the IPR team, they will be doing extra work. They will be willing to work for the outreach committee, because which was absent this year. So that I feel will address the issue of having low enthusiasm. Other than that, the course will have to be proactive in reaching out to all of the committee committee members. This year, I feel as a core for the IEEE team, I instituted DPCs for the first time, and this year I was able to get a lot of work done because I established a very good connect with my PCs and DPCs. I gave freedom to my PCs to interact with the DPCs, and I had a good connection with all of my DPCs, and because of that, my team's like efficiency increased a lot. So I feel like from my point of view, that is a very important step in increasing the efficiency of a team.
We'll take one more question, and we can take questions from GSB if there are any.
Can CDC decide one question?
One more question from Spearhead, and then we'll move to GSB. One.
Okay. So, my question is basically about the CDC year-long events that you've mentioned. There are a bunch of events that you've missed out, but apart from that, there's nothing about higher studies even marginally mentioned here. Question is, are you planning on scrapping the higher studies vertical under CDC? Are you?
No.
What is the?
No. So my basic funda behind this point was that like this year, I personally felt that the events which were organized by the various clubs and CDC were very segregated, and I feel that there needs to be a concerted effort by CDC and the clubs, utilize them to better increase the amount of student preparation, because I feel that finance club, case club, and no code club, one of their tasks is to help the students prepare for their respective profiles also. So that is the basic essence of this point. And I have given a timeline also in my feasibility, like a sort of a mock timeline.
Okay, but you've still not answered the fact that why haven't you included higher studies related events in the timeline?
So this point is mainly for the students who are sitting for placements and internships. That is the essence behind this point.
Okay, but you've mentioned CDC year-long events. That's exactly why I'm asking this question. Okay, that's okay. Coming to preparation calendar. This is just another question. So, it's a follow-up. Yeah. So basically, you've mentioned that under data analysis, you would like to set up a committee to assess the data for the preparation calendar. Can you pass on the mic to him so he can answer the question?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, so under preparation calendar, you've mentioned that a committee will be set up to analyze the data. Can I know who
Academic Affairs Secretary, Executive Committee.
Academic Affairs Secretary and?
Executive Committee.
So they'll all be assessing data which you get from intern Blue Book.
I didn't get your point. You were asking the committee.
Under preparation calendar, you've mentioned that data analysis will be done by a committee.
Yeah, so committee is the AS Executive Committee.
Okay, so to get information from Blue Book, you're going to have AS Executive Committee go.
No, they will be heading that.
We'll move to GSB questions, if there are any. No. Two questions from GSB.
One last question. One last. Yeah, I'll pass.
We are running out of time. Please.
Yeah, but
please cooperate. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, no, ask. I'll just one last question.
We'll take it afterwards. We'll take it towards the end.
Fine, then let me give it to Jason. Give it to Jason.
He's not part of the team.
That person is allowed to ask.
GSB.
Hi, my question is regarding the Joint Tech MBA program that you are proposing.
Yeah.
The plan mainly consists of designing the curriculum and outreach, something that can be wholly taken up by the IAR Secretary, the Global Engagement Office and DOMS. What is your contribution to this, and which team under you would you leverage to get this done?
Yeah, so personally when I was talking to the INDR Secretary, he was of the opinion that the Academic Affairs Secretary should have a major role to play in this. Other than that, answering your second question, again, the AS Executive Committee will be helping me in completing this manifesto point.
No follow-up for GSB. Other question, please. The guy in the black t-shirt, the last row.
Hello. Hello, Laksha,
Hello.
this is Sujit. Good to see you again there.
Thank you. So my question is about research club, department clubs and academic affairs secretary. So I remember that. So I'm one of the biotech research club heads. So I remember I approached this current academic affairs secretary regarding that, and I got to know that there is one executive committee which is formed regarding officializing the department clubs and academic affairs secretary. And I remember you are the part of that club as well. So I even approached you as well. So unfortunately, I didn't get any further updates over it. So what is your action plan over it? And because I see no points regarding that in your manifesto, so are you going to just leave it, like do nothing over it, or you have any action plan? Especially I'm emphasizing again regarding biotech research club, because it's been there nearly 4 years and it's still an anonymous club under any, like it doesn't come under any sphere.
Yeah, so like the Academic Affairs Secretary Executive Committee Core, who was heading this task of having departmental research clubs, first of all, like we were very enthusiastic about this plan and tried to like he himself constituted with his coordinators. We collected data from different departments that how many students are actually interested in having some sort like this sort of a research club. So our plan firstly was to collect the data. We collected the data and we received a good response from some of the departments. But after that, the things didn't move forward because the current AS Executive Committee Core was not able to, he was not able to move forward due to certain constraints. So like that was the issue because of which we were not able to move forward. But yeah, certainly I'll be taking it up this year, and I would love to see departmental research clubs for various departments, and also ensure that the clubs which are already there, like Biotech Research Club, and then electrical department also has their own club, and ensure that they have a safe space in which they can grow under the Academic Affairs Secretary.
One last question from JSB. Yes, ask.
Hello, Laksh. This is Mayank, a fourth year undergraduate student. My question is regarding the recessions that we are facing currently, right now. This is something which is not a situation compared to the normal year. What are your initiative regarding to counter-attack these recessions and to get better placement ratios compared to the last year? As a placement team experience and IEEE code, you have a better idea about and data as well. Also, my question is regarding you have a transparency in the test of placement and internship. So we want transparency in data as well, because this year we don't get any data regarding the stats about the placement, how many got placed in which phases, and what's the data department-wise and the IEEE-wise as well. So what are your plans? Like, do you going to share all these stuffs clearly, or just leave it, or going to follow the path as the current affairs, academic affairs secretary?
So firstly, I'll answer your second question. So the second question, the simple answer is that the current Academic Affairs Secretary has not released the data. It's not in my hands to release the data. Other than that, answering your first question, again, you get more companies by doing more outreach. So this year we already have lots of different sheets. We will be using that and using the manpower of the placement team in order to increase the outreach. We already have a lot of data. It's just that we need to have a concerted effort from the start, which I'll be doing as soon as I start my tenure as the Academic Affairs Secretary.
Clarification regarding the statistics. Every year after the tenure, the complete detail of placement reports, including which department, everything is shared by the placement team every year. This year also it will be shared. Until the end of phase 2, it shouldn't be shared for the students, for the mental wellness of students for placements was a decision taken by the director. At the end of phase 2, we will share we share it every year. That is not something that I am starting. Placement report regarding what department, what profiles, what companies, everything. For 23 report as well, you can go online and find it. It's a public document that we share every year.
Now we can move to SECC questions. So, Laksha, tell me what are the 3 branches of the student governance system of IIT Madras, and which branch you are going to be part of?
Can I ask a question?
No.
Yes, I will.
You are not
your
allowed.
Lack of planning
Kindly
doesn't
cooperate.
cause me an emergency for me to not ask
we are
question
running
to the
out of
contestant.
time.
This is
we'll
very
get back to
important
you,
in my
please.
terms.
Please, please, please. We'll get back to you. We'll allow you and this guy to ask question. Please cooperate. Yes.
Yeah, so we have the legislative, which is the Student Legislative Council, which is headed by the Speaker. Then we have the executive, which is the Executive Council. And third, we have the judiciary, which is the Student Ethics and Constitution Commission.
Is SECC a judiciary body or a regulatory body?
SECC is a judiciary body.
According to Students' Constitution of IIT Madras, it's a regulatory body. Okay, second question. Are you allowed to vote in SLC?
Only the legislators are allowed to vote.
Can you list the names of all the disciplinary committees which we are having in IIT Madras? And after becoming Academic Affairs Secretary, which disciplinary committee you'll be the part of?
I'll be member of the Disciplinary Welfare Committee. And other than that, we have hostel disciplinary committees also, which are of two types. So like there is a inter-hostel SDC and an inter-hostel SDC. So inter-hostel SDC is when like the general secretary and the HL and the warden and the assistant warden from two or more hostels come together with the CCW chairman and conduct the SDC. And yeah. Other than that, I feel like for financial misappropriation, we have the Financial Accountability Committee.
Okay, so we are having 4 disciplinary committees in IIT Madras. Institute Disciplinary Committee, Hostel Disciplinary Committee, DWC, as you said, and CCASH. Okay, your question, please. Thank you.
Hello? Yeah. So,
Please, no comments, just a question and
just
an
a
answer.
question. Yeah, sure. So I'm not sure if you're aware or not, but like there has been a constant proposal like from past few years to have the placement and internship cell under the Dean ACR sphere. So as a student representative, like what do you think of it? Like if this kind of thing is pushed in your tenure, will you like welcome it or like oppose it, and why not?
I am not of that opinion because I feel...
Of what opinion? Like
I am not in favor of the opinion of shifting it to the Dean ACR. That is because I feel that the current system here at IIT Madras is a very student, like it's a very student-run process, which I feel that obviously, like personally, I feel that like as a student-run process, we are able to like have the process in a much better manner.
One follow-up.
yeah, I mean, don't you think you will be missing out on a lot of alumni contacts which the ACR office will be much more welcome to share with you had placement and internship cell being a sphere under them?
In the Academic Affairs Secretary Rulebook, it has been clearly stated that the AAS needs to have a good relation with the INDS Secretary in order to leverage the alumni contacts.
Yeah, we can take up your question, person in the third row. Second row.
Hey Lakshya,
Are you a spearhead?
yes, CDC head.
Okay. You are
So-
allowed to ask one follow-up over this
All right.
question. Yeah.
Yes.
This is the last question of this evening. So, yeah.
All right. So, yes, since you were in PNG, here's a situational question for you. You are AS, you're Lakshya. Yeah, you are in AS, and your CDC head approaches you asking, I am having this very overlapping issue that I am putting fund days for CAT, GMAT, GRE, higher studies, PhD, MS, you name it. And then I am having, bodies like Pragati's UPSC team, CAT team, which has now also taken turn to, perform GRE related events. And then global engagement team, and now even, clubs like Biotech Club and ERC. How will you, handle the situation where your events and, so many different bodies, almost like 3 SECIs as of now, are going to have collab or, basically conflict between who will be able to handle this event, who should cater to, institute body?
Yeah, so firstly, if I talk about Team Pragati, I am of the personal opinion that Team Pragati as a team should be under the Academic Affairs Secretary. But the current SGS and both of the aspiring SGS are really reluctant to shift the body under the academic sphere. So that is one area where there is a lot of clash between the AS and the SGS. But again, in my tenure, I will try to resolve this issue and try to get the team under the career development cell. Other than that, obviously, every secretary, I have also seen personally tried to mimic something which the CDC has to do. Again, that can only be resolved by staying in constant touch with the other secretaries. And if some sort of clash is going to happen, either take it up as a collaboration event, or clearly state that you are having issues with this, like whatever initiative they are planning to take, and make them collaborate with the career development cell.
One quick follow-up and then we'll end.
The question is as easy as will they ever collaborate? Because it's always a cat fight for I want to do it. And I believe, in my entire tenure, I have never been able to convince any of the peers that I had from Pragati, Biotech Research Club, or, especially global engagement, which has been very isolated for a very long time in terms of participation with other bodies.
Don't worry. As an academic affairs secretary, I will be fully in support, and I will be making sure those sort of issues don't happen to the next CDC course.
Thank you everyone for joining us. We hope that you'll be staying for tomorrow's Soapboxes as well. Thank you so much. Good night.